Did you know that Jesus gave us the means to defeat communism? My name is Father Robert Altier, and our topic today is devotion to the holy face of Jesus. Between the years of 1843 and 1847, when communism was actually just beginning to be established in the world, Jesus appeared to a Carmelite nun in Tours, France, to ask for prayers of reparation through devotion to his holy face, as it appears on the veil of Saint Veronica. Tradition tells us that while Jesus was carrying his cross on the way to Calvary, an heroic woman made her way through the crowd of onlookers that were lining the streets, and braving the possibility of the brutal punishment by the Roman soldiers that were walking with our blessed Lord, she removed the veil that was covering her head and wiped the face of Jesus. And as if in gratitude for her great charity, Jesus left on that veil the image of his holy countenance. Over the centuries, that veil was kept in various places, but in the 8th century, it was brought to St. Peter's Basilica, where it has remained to this day. This point will become important for our story, but first we have to trace the origins of this devotion. In 1839, a 23-year-old woman entered a Carmelite monastery in Tours, France, and was given the religious name of Sister Mary of St. Peter. Between the years of 1843 and 1847, Jesus himself spoke to Sister Mary of St. Peter, revealing his desire for a work of reparation and for devotion to his holy face. The reparation was specifically directed towards sins of blasphemy, irreverence, and the profanation of Sundays. Sister Mary of St. Peter died on July 6th of 1848 at the age of only 33 years. And the messages that she had received and written down were all placed in the archives of the Diocese of Tours. But in January of 1849, Pope Pius XI asked that all the churches in Rome would offer prayers in response to a severe persecution of the church that had commenced at that time in Italy. In St. Peter's Basilica, they exposed the veil of Veronica for 3 days for people to come and pray before this veil. Well, over the centuries, the veil had become very darkened, and the image was barely visible because the image had become so dark. But the veil was exposed with a candle behind it, and they put a white piece of silk in front of it. So the actual veil was between the candle and the white piece, the white silk cloth. On the Feast of the Epiphany, January 6th of 1849, when the canons of the Basilica were completing their prayers before returning the relic to its place of storage, suddenly the priests and the bishops saw the face of Jesus appear on the outer cloth, on that white cloth of silk that hung in front of the veil. The image that they saw appeared as if it were alive, but with the features taking on a death-like hue, his eyes sunken, and seeming to be in great pain. This miracle lasted for about 3 hours, was witnessed by many people, including the Pope. And artists were brought in, and they were asked to draw or to engrave the image as it appeared. These artists' renditions then were stored at the Vatican. Further images were made over the years based on the original drawings. Those images then would be put on white silk, and they would be touched to the original veil of Veronica, as well as to a relic of the true cross, a piece of the wood from the true cross, and also to the spearhead that had pierced the side of our blessed Lord. And both the cross and then that the spearhead are also at the Vatican. So they would make these facsimiles and then touch them to these 3 relics and then send them out. Well, they did that for about 70 years, and there was a man in Tours, France, who had known Sister Mary of St. Peter, and he has now been declared venerable. His name is Leo Dupont. He was a great devotee believed in what our Lord had given to Sister Mary, and he also then was a devotee of the reparations and the devotions. And in 1531, he himself received a copy of this image, and that was sent out by the Vatican, and he put it up in the parlor of his home, where he himself saw his clients. He was an attorney, and so he saw his clients there, and he received guests there. So he had this image that was there so that everyone could see it. Well, 2 days after hanging the image up in his office, there was a client that came to him complaining about eye pain, which the doctors couldn't heal. Well, Venerable Leo Dupont then suggested that she pray the prayers of the Holy Face before this image, and then to bless her eyes with the oil lamp. He had put an oil lamp there that he kept burning constantly. And so to pray the prayers and then take some of the oil and anoint her eyes. She did so and was immediately cured. Well, word of this spread, and for 30 years, people came to the home of Leo Dupont to pray. And amazingly, more than 6,000 medically documented miracles of healing occurred in the parlor of that home. Sister Mary Peter's writings were published in 1876. The best-known book containing these writings is called The Golden Arrow, and that's because these prayers that are contained in that book, as well as all the messages of Jesus, are there, but these prayers are the arrow that our Lord is going to use to fight against the enemies of God, and in a particular way against communism, which has just about taken over the world. In 1884, the Bishop of Tours established the Confraternity of the Holy Face. So in 1885, Pope Leo XIII approved a petition to establish an arch-confraternity of the Holy Face. But that was not limited simply to France, but it was to be spread throughout the world and in perpetuity. And in 1885, Saint Therese, the little flower, as well as her father and 3 of her sisters, were among the first people to join that arch-confraternity. And in fact, her devotion to the Holy Face was so profound that when she made her vows, she received the name Sister Therese of the Child Jesus and the Holy Face. The liturgical feast in honor of the Holy Face is on Shrove Tuesday, that is the day before Ash Wednesday. So this devotion is particularly apropos for our time. This is what our Lord has given to us to be able to fight against the works of darkness that are taking over the world right now, the communism that has just about overtaken our country. And so we want to be able to take up what our Lord has given us to be able to be this golden arrow to defeat this. If you'd like more information, please check out the League of St. Martin. That was founded in 2017 by Father Lawrence Carney in order to promote the devotion to the Holy Face as well as other pious practices.